This game is a very big...
It's a fair removal because, you know, without the Flores, that can go very unchecked, or it can become a big utility burn. If
It's the opportunity to go for a great double kill. There we go. 1, 2. Managed to get 1. Oh, and is it going to go for the second as well? Not the injure. The Nook had no ID. Royboy's allowed to go for that double kill. K-Razor is down in the meantime as well, but will be picked up. And we find ourselves in a 2 and 3 situation.
just a little bit of missed intel led to a big disaster there. And what a strike from Royboy, playing an off position, and they're going to have to try and dig their way through. They've got themselves inside. They're going for the split, but Woogieman is in. He locks off the gun vault, and now it's an easy pick up there. Royboy, hey man, how you gonna do? I don't know. How's a 3K on the opener for you? Aggressively, it warms you up to the fight. It's what Pengu sort of said, or it might be Fabian the other day who said, with the first rounds, wherever you play them, they're dangerous because you're not warmed up, you're not ready. Almost on creep up to see if they can put some fight in. Hey, Malusi, sort of caught unaware. There's one more that's playing just around the corner here inside the covered room. Shin is able to get the pick up, and that puts them in a 2 versus 5. A great aggressive take and response there to the missed utility early on, but they've still got to try and fight their way up. And Coated, well, he's going to go down, gets a great take and a drop there, but they'll have the call that that's a body that's off site, slightly further away. They're not too far away, but if that's relayed to the bodies that were at the time pushing around the bedroom, they might be able to dig their way through. They've got the pincer on the stairs, they've got the lock off, and now they've just got Woogieman left to try and dig through, and so much time. Another call comes through, and there's the ping, there's the flashes, and there is that rain of hell, and Woogieman can only really sit and wait for a moment before he tries to strike, but Afro is the one to make sure the iron is hot in his hands.
It's not much he could have done there. Have a, well, somewhat clue of where all these players are.
Well, Rin's going for the slow creep up from underneath to see if they can punish them before the push comes through, so they've got to see if they can make it work. They've crept their way in, and number 2 has been able to light up even more. There goes Coated. And now Rin finds themselves even more scarpered. Look at this. It's the plant going down. It's the use of that utility on the push when they actually hit the execute of the site, and the build behind it, a miss moment there. Number 2 is able to get one more. Yas from deep gets at least the first fence. You would expect them to take it, but here, with the unfortunate, obviously, falling ill in the pickup of the swap in, it's become a little bit too much pressure, a little bit too much of a mantle at first. Afro is able to take care of Royboy this time. No surprise strike round.
E1D gets popped out, and the push from 90 is about to be underway as Woogieman will be able to pick up the first kill, and K-Razor unable to respond.
Great play there from Woogieman. Took the body and pulled back to make sure that they weren't suffering in the meantime. It was a fantastic result to come through on the opposite side. Pre-fires, hits one of those false folk. And now as the Lion digs through, they're going close round. They just see the sliver, but Woogieman is able to somehow pull it apart. Type on goes down. They can't quite get control of the alibi that's utilizing those fantastic bits of cover. A misthrown flash doesn't quite get them the success that they want, and all behind the billiards table, he's just able to repeatedly pocket them. Shin creeps their way in, looks for the close kill, hits the legs, but doesn't get the confirmation. Rim from deep, K-Razor gets the down, cannot get the swing round. And DAMWON get their second.
Really unfortunate there that you weren't able to get the down onto the Jaeger in that. No more utility left there for the Cade to try and stop any further breaching from happening. All that they can do now is just hope that they're not being cut down like...
Oh.
Well, it's a good flick onto number 2, I'm sure of it. Was able to, first of all, cut down Yas, then as well got number 2. So it's Spooky Nuck, so he might not have known that...
I'm curious if number 2 was on the jump-in window on the split on the far side, like it was just behind the firefight that they just had and sort of lost it there. I don't know if it was a flick. I think it was more the last bullets won you out. But here, the push around, it's the Frost Mat that gets a bit of revenge there. They were still able to get the kill, but traded out, and it puts you into this 3 versus 2 situation. DAMWON is able to bring the body balance back.
What they need to do now is just pull that trigger. That's literally it. And oh, you might be hiding right behind the Prisma.
Yes. And that is dangerous. Oh. There it is. Great reaction there. Waited for the perfect moment. The calls came out, realized that he's going to get swung, so be the swinger. Rin goes down in the meantime, but it's Typon that's also suffering out. Coated gets so low, but without securing it, that's the big play right now. Instead, they're able to pick up somebody else in the meantime, but there's an alibi low, and they're able to just take that out. It's a 2 versus 1 versus 1. as they're obviously still down, but no, sort of try and swing those. Yeah, he's just picked one back up and got himself fully stocked. K-Razor is under the first fight, and the impression swings round onto one that killed themselves because they were downed whilst holding the grenade, picks up the second as well. And if I'm going to compliment how DK were able to swing into the firefights, there is an example of how well FAV can do it too. Dropping the man with the grenade was always that sort of play, and that pick and reacting to them rather than the Zofia led to success. Royboy, he's going to try and creep his way back up the stairs for some revenge. Gets it, gets an early pick, and is going to try and swing around onto the second, but the Mozzie reacts faster. Number 2 pulls back into sight. They're in a 3 versus 1 situation at this moment in time. Woogie Man has a lot of time.
And thus killed himself. A double kill came through basically from K-Razor. Was for Royboy that managed to strike back, but the Mozzie still on top of those main stairs, able to wreak some havoc.
I say, just as Yas gets the kill, here we get it in slow motion.
See, it throws it and it goes back.
It bounces off. Okay, let's quickly go.
Nitros on the board here for FAV, and they're trying to use these yokai drones to guide them in, but it's Royboy and Rin both for the kill. And suddenly there's not much you can do. There is going to be that Nitro that comes out. It's going to be the missed opportunity, and Royboy hurrying up to the stairs, getting that kill, leaving only Shin in a post plant in a 1v5 situation.
I mean, it was a great take on what I think was a not fantastically sort of
set up site.
Through that coat, it does have 3 flashes in pocket if push comes to shove, but with that wall open, they're instead going to see if they can drive through and apply the pressure here. There is Shin, however, holding the angle with Yump, is able to take care of Yas. Suffers a lot, and that's obviously Thatcher on the board, but they've been able to get probably one of them. Wow, a minute on. And Royboy's trying to do as much work above. Just saw a sliver of somebody at the end there, but it's Rin that actually strikes first, and Shin's able to get his double for the round. Still with low health. There's the feet of somebody, just pulls away at the right second, but it's Woogie Man on the backside, digs his way in, coated, strikes as the iron is hot too. They played with the idea of getting a plant for a second, then realized they're in this 2 versus 2 situation, going for a big rotate round on the opposite side, and that's going to buy them a second of time. Look at the setup though, ready to go. The spray comes out over the top, buys themselves a bit of an escape here onto the pantry side, and they have the flashes to give them a couple extra seconds here. Sprayed across the middle and the meat of the site itself as they try and drive their way through, but Afro is able to find one. Woogie Man with the cover on the opener. Another EE1D is going to pop off. 30 seconds left, and he's going for a big pull back. They're going to play around with the audio here. They cannot quite long arm this, so they have to going to be a little bit tricky with the pings coming through. There's another flash over the top. Type on. He gets caught by Woogie Man, and DK drive themselves to map point.
It's very bold there to go for the
damage, but he's well trained enough to be able to pull back and make sure that they have the cover. That one does a little bit more damage. Drops K-Razor in the meantime. They're downed on the stairs, and they're going to just stay there for a second. I think they were concerned about the cover and the swing that was going to come across the top of Study, but the push has otherwise actually driven itself all the way underneath. They've now lost that open body. Finally, K-Razor is going to try and crawl away to some semblance of safety as more grenades attempt to get the lockdown here. That is the big pass they've got past, but there is K-Razor gone. The second grenade was the pickup. Another E1D. They want to build behind the movement and the momentum that they've taken already. More utility has been dropped and removed from the push itself. The trade-off here, that Monty's gone, but in my books has already done the job that they wanted them to do, to push up that main stairs that was otherwise such a problem for them before. Yas, with one more, pushes DK even closer. A swing round on red doesn't quite come out the way that they want it to, and over the strategy table, there's a drone, but there's a body just waiting patiently on the opposite side, shepherded off the site at this point. And there's another fight around the back of red that also goes against DK. Rin, who again hasn't been able to stick into this fight in the game the same way they usually does, but the drive comes all the way through from Yas, who otherwise has been tucked on the corner. Shin with one more. That's 10 seconds. He's in the middle of a firefight between two. Gets a quad. Can he end this game on an ace for the win for DK? Hopped up on the bar. Can't quite find it. No diffuser in hand. They're just waiting off on the side of red. They know they don't have to at all with the time that we have.
Minute 10 left on that clock. Royboy will now know one is on side of those Astro stairs. Tosses in a grenade, and that is right on Typhon. Beautifully tossed in. They're trying to go for the refract straight away with that Alda. It fires a lot of shots, but Yas comes around the corner, gets traded out by number 2. A 4-on-3 situation with 53 seconds left on that clock. FAV does not have a lot of players inside. It's just number 2. Afro and Shin are close. but they need to pick up the kill on Rin, because as soon as Rin starts moving up on the red stairs and picks up these kills, it's round and game over for FAV.
Well, this is it. This is the important trade in the moment. Rin creeps up. Are they aware? It doesn't seem like they are. Rin
gets
the double. And now they're going for this final rotate. Number 2 has dropped off, popped underneath onto the red, try and get underneath. Coated is going to stick it in the meantime. I'll go for the attempt, but Rin's holding the angle. The spray comes through. It goes their way. Goes for the second, but it's Coated that locks it off. DK, with the last-minute replacement, gets themselves the full 3 points secured and gets themselves eyed towards the top 4. Not only them, Fnatic are now also confirmed in that top 4 based on this result, and FAV are still fighting and scrambling for that precious 4th spot.
Yeah, they definitely are. DWG do what they needed to do, even with the substitute in. Royboy, who managed